What's going on YouTube? West Hobbies RC. So today we have the Trex Nitro 600. So I've had this helicopter for a long time, probably about 5 years, 6 years. This was actually one of my first big helicopter builds that I did. I bought it as a junker frame and built it from the frame up. And back then they didn't have the Nitro DFC yet, so I used the 550 DFC head. And I had to make my own main shaft. I had to cut down a regular nitro shaft and make it shorter because it was a fly barred head. So I did a lot of work with this helicopter and I flew it for a while until my dumb self decided to put 50% nitro fuel in it and melt the piston. Complete accident, put the wrong fuel in it, melted a piston, and it sat for the last 3.5, 4 years. Trying to decide what I wanted to do, if I wanted to make it electric, if I wanted to keep it nitro, if I wanted to just pull the servos, sell the airframe, I don't know. I decided to keep it because it's got a special place in my heart. So that's where we get today. I have been accumulating parts and here we are. So we have a brand new OS 55HZ. This was a Christmas gift from my grandfather, so thank you, Grandpa. So now we have the engine. This is the old 50 pipe that we already had on the helicopter. This is a V2 tail rotor assembly. I got this when I bought my 550 DFC. It came with a bunch of spare parts and this was in there, so the one on this helicopter is plastic. Throw it on there. We have our clutch and fan. Pulled that off the old engine, and then I just got in from Heli Direct new engine mounts because I lost the old ones when I took it apart. We have some new skid nuts. We have a new fuel filter. They replaced the one that's on there, and we have some new skid pipes because I painted these. So I did this helicopter purple, like purple accents on it, and I've painted the skids to match, and I really don't like it, so I'm going to take all the purple stuff off, which I don't know. I kind of like the purple, but I don't know. Let me know what you guys think. Probably going to take it off, though. But we have some DS8317 servos on the cyclic, 8900 on the tail. We are running a BeastX 7300, which I will be peeling this stuff off and doing the new tape glue on now that we do. So actually, let's get rid of that. So yeah, we got the BeastX on there. For now, it will go Icon soon. We are running a 2S Glacier 2200 LiPo, receiver pack, a line governor, all the normal stuff. So we are gonna go ahead and get our brand new engine out, and we need to put the clutch on, which is what I'm gonna show you guys how to do next, because you have to bolt the clutch onto the engine. Once we get that done, we can bolt our engine mounts on, and then we can slide the fan shroud around the engine and slide the whole engine up into the helicopter. So it should be very simple, very easy, quick, and we'll have it running in this video. All right, so I went ahead and pulled the carburetor off the engine, and I'll explain why in a second. So if you're doing a nitro build or any kind of repairing a nitro clutch engine, so you'll notice that the nut has a flat side and a rounded side. Always remember, flat side goes towards the back of the engine, so I like to set flat side down. There's a little washer here. You want to make sure you keep that little washer on there. Little washer stays flat against that bearing. So now we have our clutch fan, and we are going to slide our clutch fan into here. Now this is going to be a press fit, and it's just going to slide right on down. You have two screws. Screw there. You have a screw there that clamps. So now we have our nut. And now you don't have to do this. A lot of people tell you not to. I like to put a tiny bit of blue thread locker on the engine. Not a lot. I got to open it. It'd help if I opened it. But we need just a tiny, tiny bit. And I'll explain that in a second. So now we're going to run our nut down. Okay. Remember, flat side towards the case, rounded side out here. And it's hard to tell in video, but you can really tell. I don't know if you can tell that or not, but yeah, there you go. You'll see a flat rounded side. But so now you're going to want to run this down. So now we have ourselves a 10 millimeter here. Okay, and make sure we have it untightened on a good old Harbor Freight ratchet set here. Gotta love the Harbor Freight ratchets. So let's go and snug it down. Now the problem is when you get there, you're only gonna be able to get it so tight. Okay, so you're gonna grab the clutch and you're gonna tighten. and you're gonna squeeze it down. Now what I like to do, so now we need to make sure that this is locked. You can see we have it in there. So now a lot of people tell you don't do this, it won't work. I've done this on all my nitro engines. I've never had a problem. I see some people will take the back case off and they'll stick a rubber handed tool, something like this, with a rubber dipped, and they'll put it against the piston or the crankshaft. I don't like that. So what I like to do is I have this little pair that fits down inside the carburetor hole right into the crank perfectly. I fit this down into there. I hold that at the same time while I tighten engine down. Okay, so you know we didn't do no damage, of course. We did mark up this a little bit, but that's okay. So now this is as tight down as we can get it. We can't get this any tighter. Now everything is nice and tight. It's clamped down. So now we are going to go ahead and we are going to run our screws in. So now what we need to run our screws in is some right here, a little bit of thread lock. Oh, sorry, knocked into you guys again. So a little bit of thread locker, and let's go ahead and run one here. Now this is going to clamp. Oh, I keep knocking into you guys, I'm sorry. It's just very hard to do when you have a tripod set up and then you're trying to work around the camera. So we're going to lock one screw down like that, get the next one ready, a little bit of blue Loctite, put a drop on there, rotate this over, run that screw down, and then we're just going to go ahead, tighten this up like so, get it nice and tight, snug it down good. There's one snug down, there's the other one is snug down. There we go. Alright, so now our clutch is on there. So we have a tightened clutch, it's not slipping, it's not going anywhere. So now we just need to put this on our thing under there, our one way, and then we are good to go. So I am going to go ahead and get the one way tightened down, which is just as simple as lining these two up and snugging the two bolts that we got right here. So we have one here and here. So we're going to put these on our little Allen wrench here. And we are going to, again, a little bit of blue thread locker. We are going to snug these bolts into here. Then we have to put the carburetor back in, but that's no big deal, it's easy. And then we get ready to put the engine mounts on, and we can slide this engine up in the frame after I find some bolts. I had to dig through my metric collection. So you get the point, thread locker, run it down, tighten this clutch up, and we are good to go. Our clutch is mounted on the flywheel, and we are bolted snug down to the engine. They do make a piston lock tool. I don't like the piston lock tools for tightening these nuts down. You can use it. I'm afraid that it will bend the connecting rod. And they also make a crankshaft lock. I always just use a little bit of rubber handled something in the back. And there we go. Now our clutch is completely done on the engine. We are tightened. One-way bearing is in there. We are ready to slide this. Ready to put the carburetor back on. Slide it back up into the helicopter with the mounts and move on to the next step. Alright, so working on the engine mounts here. I went ahead and got this one done, but something I just wanted to touch on. So these are brand new 600n engine mounts. Now I don't think they're from the 600xn, but they are from the 600 nitro. So a problem I ran into is when I go to bolt these on, they are, I don't know if you can see this, but they're not lining up. The engine mount is sitting too far off. So if you can see on this one, it's sitting flush, but I had to grind away. You can see a little bit right there. I had to grind the bevel. What's happening is the inside of this engine mount here, which is right here, this inside edge is hitting the case, and it is not allowing the engine mount, as you can see how far it sticks out there? See that little about 1/16 of an inch? And then on this side, it's sitting flush now. So just want to make a quick note, if you guys are engine swapping a 600 nitro, you're putting, I don't know if it's because the 50 case I have, these don't fit either. So I don't know what is the difference with these for the 600. These are direct from a line. So just something to touch on real quick, that you will have to make those, grind them to make them fit. These are the part number here, so maybe it's for the older 600 nitro, I don't know, but it is what it is. We make it work over here. So I'm going to grind this one and get this other engine mount Loctited and screwed into place, and then we can get ready to slide this engine into the helicopter. Alright, so as you can see here, I had to grind a 45 basically in the side of the mount, and now the mount fits perfect like it should, nice and flush. So just a little word of advice, if you guys are doing an engine swap and your mounts don't fit, that is what you have to do. You have to grind a little 45, and it sucks to grind them on a brand new nice and pretty chrome part, but you can never tell once it's bolted up into place. So now time to Loctite them, of course, and we're ready to throw the engine in. All right, so we're ready to put the engine in. Now we have the shroud here. It's just simple as it comes apart, goes together. Two little pins, you push here, push here. Now you have your shroud around. That's the fan shroud to help blow air over the head to keep the engine cool. And then now this will just simply slide up through the bottom. I'll do it two-handed, but this will slide up through the bottom into the clutch bell here, which I redid this clutch liner a while ago and it's still good, but if we had to put a new clutch liner in it, that's easy too. You pull the clutch out, clean it up, epoxy a new liner in. Very simple. So now, sorry, getting over being sick. So now this will slide up into here. We have two bolts here, one bolt on the bottom tray, and then we are ready to bolt the engine in. So I'm gonna go ahead and get that slid into place and we'll be good to go. So the engine is in. As you can see, we got it bolted up, 2 bolts per side, 1 bolt on the bottom. We got the bottom tray bolted and skids on. Now we just have to get the pipes put in, which we'll do that in a second. So now we have to do the throttle linkage. So the new 55 has a 4-arm throttle. I'm probably just gonna take the arm off of the old 50 that I have, just because I don't want to cut this one up, and this one is the arm that was already on there. So I need to bind it to the radio and figure out which side is throttle for high and low. And then this way there's a little mark right here, and that little mark on the barrel, that's full throttle, and that mark over there is idle, and then this is in between. So now we know that full throttle and idle. And then it's simple enough, you can just put something through that hole, take this barrel off, or you can cut these arms down. You can do whatever you want, use a different arm, it doesn't really matter. But now I just need to figure out which way. I'm pretty sure full throttle is down, idle is up. So we'll just have to put whatever side that is, put a ball on there, which we have over there, and then get the muffler put on, new fuel filter on, pipes on, and we should be ready to start this thing. Another little tip. All right, so we are about to put the skid pipes into the skids. So the pipes have these little end caps that you can just push into here, and yes, they will stay when you push them in, but what I personally like to do is take yourself a little bit of medium CA, whatever CA of your choice, and I just put me a dab, spin it around in here like this, and then get my end cap here, push it in, twist it a little bit, wipe off any excess, and now your end cap is glued in. Same with the other side. Again, just a little bit of medium CA, spin it around, grab your end cap here, push it, twist it, hold it into place while it dries sometimes, because now you sealed off the other end, so whatever air is trapped in there is going to try to push this cap back out. Once that dries, you are good to go, and then you have your end caps glued into your pipes, and they will not pop out, fall out, especially with a nitro helicopter. There's going to be vibrations, so these little end caps will fall out after a while. So I'm going to go ahead and get the other one done, and then put the skid nuts on. These are very easily, I could just put a little bit of soapy water on these, slide them into place, you're good to go. Another thing that drives me absolutely crazy is when I see pipes put on helicopters and they're not equal, they're not measured evenly. So I'll see a lot of times they'll have them on there and one side will be farther back than the other side, or the front of it, where your little dip is, your little bend up, they won't be even with the other side. So very important, just measure it. I like to measure equal from the back distance and equal from the front distance, and then I will put a little bend in them however way I see that I like on that particular helicopter, tighten them down, and they look good. So I'm gonna get that done, not bore you guys with that, and be back. All right, so now we have the engine bolted in, new fuel filter put in place, zip tied down so it is secured. We ran the line up to the bottom of the carburetor. We have high and low or mid range, high range, and low range, because it's a 3-needle carburetor, which is one of the main reasons why I wanted this engine, so you get a better tunability through your throttle range. New skid pipes, new skid nuts put on, everything is tightened down, measured evenly so they look good, bends are even. We have the battery plugged in, we checked, made sure. We are going to rewire this helicopter later. Eventually this helicopter is going to get completely torn down to the frame sides. I'm going to order new frame sides for it because these both have mess ups in them. Like I said, I bought this helicopter a long time ago. It was used and abused. I tore it down, rebuilt it, put it back together, but it's not perfect, and I like my helicopters to be perfect, so eventually it will get torn down, or I might just end up buying a 600XN airframe for the newer design and style, and then just moving this engine and everything into a 600XN and parting out the 600 airframe, or keeping the head because it fits the 550, whatever, I don't know yet. But we got it bound to the IX12. We have the metal tail grip on it. And now we are ready for, we have the muffler mounted. Let's spin it around. And we are ready for the first fire up. So we ended up just using the original carburetor linkage off of the 50, but everything works like it should. No binding. We got idle. We have kill switch or engine kill hooked up. We have the muffler bolted nice and tight, Loctited. Muffler is good and secure. Muffler line is ran. So everything is set the way it should. Everything works like it should. So now we are going to fuel it up. I'm running some Cool Power 30% heli fuel, and we're going to see if this thing will fire up. So let's go see if it runs. It runs. I ran a full tank through it, just letting it idle, quick throttle blips, nothing crazy, no blades on it, so of course I didn't want to rev it up really high because no load on the engine is not good at all. So we have it back together now. It is ready to fly. I'm going to change the Deans out to XD60s just for personal preference. I did get my favorite glue paste on here, as you guys have seen in any of my other build videos if you watch them. This stuff is incredible. Use that to help glue your servo plugs into the FBL, stops anything from vibrating out. So it is ready to fly. So now I just want to change those out to XD60s and go over it again, clean it all up. But I am super happy that this Nitro 600 is back together. Let me know in the comments down below if you think I should cut these purple fuel line tubings off. I did this many years ago. The old canopy had purple in it, it matched. Now the canopy's yellow, it doesn't match at all. So I don't know if I like it or hate it. I'm thinking about maybe just cutting it off because there's still push rods underneath and just leaving the original look. Who knows? Let me know what you guys think. Again, I'm probably going to upgrade this soon. I'm thinking about maybe going with the Nitro DFC frame that they sell. I believe it's the Jim Hoss frame. But yeah, I can use all of the components, but it allows the DFC style servo connections, so the frame sides need to be replaced anyways because they are quite ugly. As you can see, they have been, I think, glued back together. Not quite sure, but they're not pretty frame sides, and you know, we have to have everything looking good over here on the West Hobbies RC YouTube channel. So, thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Hopefully, this weekend I'll be able to get this thing out and get some flights on it. We'll get some videos of that.
But again, thank you guys so much for watching. Give this video a like, subscribe. Helps me out big time. I know I don't ask you guys all the time to subscribe, but it really does help me out. And I know a lot of you that watch the videos are not subscribed. So hey, it's free. Click that button. Helps me out. You guys get good videos. You get notified when I make videos, and I try to make at least 2 videos a week. Sometimes there's even more. So thank you guys so much for watching. Take care. Have a great day.